Alrighty, we are back, your favorite podcast show of the week. This is Location Weekly. It's episode number 507, and we're recording live on Tuesday, March the 9th. Aubriana, how are you? How you been?
Good. I'm doing well. We're about to start like our pollen season here in Atlanta, so I'm gearing up for that. I was feeling a little like, sinusy yesterday, but this too shall pass. And yeah, things are just starting to feel a little bit more normal, I think, with like some warmer weather coming and more and more people getting vaccinated and just starting to see numbers go down. So I don't know. I feel encouraged. I'm hopeful. How about you? How you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit of the same. Like vaccines are starting to roll here. We've got, 4 vaccines approved now in Canada, and people are, the clinics are getting set up, and at least the older folks, the over 80s, are getting, done this week. My dad, I think, is getting one this week, so that's good. Yeah, so there's hope. Businesses are starting to reopen. The weather's getting better. Like we're in the 60s and 70s now up here, which is great. So yeah, and spring training baseball is in full swing, so that's always good. Yeah, there's not a lot to complain about. Like I think, things are good. So yeah, hope. Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So we've got a good show for you. We've got 4 stories that we wanted to walk through today, and then just a quick little update on one of our members got acquired. So we'll bring that up at the end as well. Yeah, I'll let you start us off.
all right. Well, this is kind of on trend and on theme for what's been going on in the industry, but Cubeiq has announced that they are shutting down their SDK part of the business. And, we've been hearing a lot about, backlash that's been happening around location SDKs. And so they are sunsetting this software, and they're replacing it with more of a clean room, kind of like data clean room. That's kind of been a new trend as well. They're citing as privacy safe, still allowing data analysis, but happening in a more secure way. I think they're just citing that SDKs pose a risk to to consumers really, as well as to the companies and businesses that use them. And so they're just trying to say this is like, with all the privacy regulations coming on, Apple making technology changes, really cracking down on any cross-app data sharing. This is kind of the way that they're moving. So, really, I think this is just the reality of like another location company is seeing the writing on the wall, and they really just want to get out of kind of the danger zone before there's a New York Times story written on them. That we've seen kind of lots of those types of stories that are coming out left and right about even good companies, some that just get caught in, bad areas or highlighted in a bad way, or some that just maybe, are not very privacy focused whatsoever. So I think this is a strong move. It's probably the right thing to start doing. More and more data clean rooms or bunkers, these types of systems are being set up. And I think that it's, I think it's the way of the future, and we'll see more and more companies transition to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, everybody that's in this space, like these guys, are in sort of response to Apple's moves and, sort of the expected corresponding moves from Google, and just where the industry is going overall when it comes to this type of SDK and data privacy and whatnot. I think that, like GDPR, I think there's a need for companies to adjust. Some companies will be able to do that and survive, and others won't. And it seems like they're trying to be proactive. They're trying to say, hey, look, we agree. We don't think this is the best approach that we've been taking, so we're going to sunset this product, and we're going to kind of move in a different direction that is, with the data clean room. And I think that there are many trying to figure out, how they, adapt and what the right move is going to be. And I think this is one way to go about it. It's certainly one of the trends that we're seeing. I know companies like Xmode and others, are trying to figure out what they're doing as well, and kind of going more to a server to server type of approach, and how they sort of share, the data and manage it that way, as opposed to being in an SDK in an app. So that's, like just another thought process around it. I think the other way that we're starting to see companies, sort of, I'll say replace, the SDK, is through a heavier reliance on IoT-based sensors. So, pulling data from whether it's beacons or cameras or, other types of sensors out there to, basically get you the same kind of attribution or foot traffic type of data. I think is interesting. I think the difference with that obviously is that it's much harder to, it can give you numbers, but it can't give you sort of the ability to match those numbers up necessarily from one business to another. So I think you still need both, but I think, it will take some time for everybody to kind of figure out, the path ahead here. But I applaud this move. I think it's a good, positive move for our industry, and I expect we'll see more companies, follow suit. So. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. On to our second story. So, American Eagle, the retailer, is debuting an AR shopping tool. So, we've talked a lot on the show the last year, in particular, about the growth of augmented reality and virtual reality, and kind of where this is going. And so, they're launching an AR shopping tool on Snapchat. It's part of their spring 2021 launch, a campaign called Jeans Are Forever. And this was announced as part of a press release about a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago now. And so the idea behind it is, they say jeans are always in style, which is obviously a signature, key product to the American Eagle portfolio. They're always developing new fabrics and fits and washes and all of that, and they want to kind of highlight that as part of, spring and their campaign here. And I think it sort of links up well with an overall trend that we're seeing, which is this idea of linking commerce and social, and kind of bringing those things together. So the ability to not just promote on social, but to actually shop and buy, through social platforms like Snapchat. They, as part of this campaign, they brought in some Netflix stars who I don't know, because I'm not into this type of stuff, but Chase Stokes and Madison Bailey, who are actors in the Netflix teen drama Outer Banks. I don't watch that show, but they're headlining this campaign, and sort of they're the central characters in it. And so, yeah, I guess, drawing, at that audience, at that demographic, with these types of stars, and kind of linking that through the social piece of what they're doing here. So that, all through Snapchat. Apparently, it's the first of its kind 2 multi-URL 3D shoppable jeans lenses. That's a lot of words. I'll say that again. First of its kind 2 multi-URL 3D shoppable jeans lens. Don't ask me what that is, but basically it's supposed to give users the ability to see a variety of American Eagle jeans in augmented reality using something called the world-facing camera, in sort of 3D shoppable ways through this Snapchat lens. So a lot going on there. Apparently, they photographed this with a mix of cameras, including Polaroid, 16 millimeter, Super 8, and iPhones, all kind of coming together. So there's a lot of visual to this. There's a lot of photography and 3D, elements to what they put together here. It sounds really cool, really rich. I'm gonna have to go check it out and see what that looks like, because it looks like they're really kind of pushing the boundaries of what you can do on social, from the description, anyways. But take a look. I think, like I said, for me, it's about that sort of growing trend of shoppable social. And kind of where that's evolving to, and in this case, the use of AR to drive that home.
Yeah, I like this story a lot, and what I love is the idea of trying on clothes without having to actually like physically put forth all that effort. So I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna see, maybe I need like a new pair of jean shorts for the summer, and maybe I'm just gonna kind of see what this looks like on Snapchat. So I like this idea a lot. And I think that, it is the way of the future. And we've seen and heard and talked about different stories where there's different fitting rooms, or you measure yourself and input your measurements, and then you can use these apps. And I think that that's a little bit, there's still challenges there, right? Like there's still barriers to doing that, or you have to go to a dressing room in a mall that can actually tell you what size you are in different stores. Like I like the idea of just doing something via social. I love that there's the shareability factor there, right? So creating that organic content, being able to share something with your friends, like which shorts should I get or which jeans should I get? I think that's a great piece of it, and just being able to shop right there as well, and driving, using that advertising in that medium where it's a true experience, I think is really powerful. So I'm excited about that for sure.
There you go. All right. So from there to
we're going to go to like a scavenger hunt kind of a thing. And this is really fun. So this is Zoo Miami is launching this. They've teamed up with a company called Freeze Tag to offer this Easter egg hunt within the zoo, obviously. And they're using an app called EventZee. So EventZee. And it's basically just using QR codes. So you are, guided through the app and given clues. And then when you get to the clue that you find, and, based on that location where that clue is, you can scan the QR code and you just move, throughout the zoo and do this scavenger hunt in essence. And then, participants can obviously like use all these clues, solve the challenges. And then at the end, they complete the hunt and they get this, they're 8 treat-filled eco-friendly eggs. So, some zoo swag and special treats there. And I think they said tickets to like the feeding zoo or petting zoo or something. And so I think this is fun. I mean, we're not talking about anything from a technology standpoint that's groundbreaking or new or like pushing barriers, but I like the idea of going somewhere and having that extra, experience on top of you're already like, seeing animals and things like that. And it's interesting because I actually have a kid-free weekend coming up, and I was looking for something fun for my husband and I to do. And I saw, we were just thinking about maybe driving down to Augusta and just checking out a new city. And so I noticed that they have a scavenger hunt that you can do that kind of guides you throughout the different, I guess, scenic and historical places that are there within the city. And I thought that's a really fun idea. And then here I am sharing the story. So I think there's something to be said about, just engaging with places through technology, but also, having more of a plan when you go into a zoo versus just like walking through. So I think this could be really fun, for if your kids are a little bit older as a family, or, just a fun date night. So I like it. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's fun too, and I like that they're sort of thinking about the Easter season here and kind of creating an experience around that. But I also like the fact that as it's kind of go around the zoo area, find these different QR codes, engage with this experience. I know these guys, Freeze Tag has been around for a while. There's a lot of sort of location and GPS based kind of components built into how their apps work. But I think one of the cool things about this in a COVID time is that this is contactless, right? It's go here, scan this, engage with the content in that way, and I think that's important, right? In trying to drive traffic back, creating fun experiences for people to participate in. So yeah, I like it, and to your point, I think it's the kind of thing that can be deployed by so many different industries and verticals, and to kind of bring people back, and at the end of the day, I talk about this a lot in retail, but I think anything that's kind of sort of guest facing type of experience like this, it is about creating something that's experiential, right? And I think that's really important, because you can buy whatever now on Amazon, right? But you can't go and do this on Amazon, right? And that's never going to be, the sort of something that's there. I think it is about, creating things for people to do and to engage with and to interact with, the people and the things and the places and the environments around them. So I like that. And sort of, as you were talking, I was also thinking about, our story the other week about kind of the rebirth of Goala and where that's going to go. And I could see, sort of them playing in this type of space as well, as that comes back, sort of into the market later this year. So yeah, cool. All right, our final story, going over to Japan, and for those who don't know, the LBMA has a fairly good size operation in the Japanese market there, with a local chapter based in Tokyo, and the luxury retailer Cole Haan has launched a new store they called GRANDSHOP, which is on Cat Street in the Harajuku neighborhood, which is kind of like one of the hipster, high fashion sort of areas of Tokyo. And they really are, it's a super high end sort of experiential, speaking to what I just said, type of retail experience. And so it's called GRANDSHOP. It's their flagship store there. It's a 2-level store featuring all sorts of high-tech components to it. It's got a second floor window that integrates with a transparent LED screen that illuminates Cat Street at night. It's got 2 screens that highlight Cole Haan, technology and innovations. It's got QR codes throughout the store that you can scan and have interactive elements going on, with their products and their brand. There's a selfie station in the store with an illuminated mirror that directs visitors to what they call blaze trails and shatter boundaries. And they've got this whole sort of campaign going, on social and in the store, with these sort of quotes in both English and Japanese, such as "take courage," "leave directions," and the hashtag for their campaign is called #WriteNewRules. So they're really kind of, trying to connect with people, trying to create experiences, that link the brand to values that they see important, and they're using a lot of tech to really, like the EventZee stuff with the Miami Zoo, sort of create those ways for people to actually interact and participate in the brand. So I think it's a really great expression of location-based engagement and interaction in a number of different ways. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this reminds me of another store we had with a couture brand. I think it was Dolce and Gabbana that had, done some similar type of, technology and interaction in their store. And I believe it was in Tokyo as well. But I think this is great. Like, what I love about this is that Cole Haan is not really an edgy brand, right? It's something that's a little bit more traditional, and I think that they're trying to just remain relevant, right? And like have that edge with connecting with a younger demographic that likely is connecting with technology a lot more, maybe than some of the others. And from what I hear, they have very comfortable shoes. So I think I think it's good. Like I like the idea of just, creating an experience, right? This is experiential. It's more than just shopping. You're not just going to, Target to pick up a new t-shirt. Like, you are getting a full-on immersion, and there's lots of things that you can enjoy within the store, as well as there's the component of like the selfie where you're sharing it, or sharing that experience out, and creating organic content again, as a brand, which I think is really important. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that they're trying to sort of also link their brand with, sort of, a celebrity aspect to it. Sort of like, these people that I don't know from the Netflix show Outer Banks, because I don't watch it. But, I think a lot of these brands are trying to sort of, associate with different voices, right? That I think will resonate with the demographic that they're going after. So they also mentioned in this that they've teamed up with a guy named Hassan Minhaj to create the Cole Haan X Hassan Minhaj Grand Pro Rally Court sneaker. So he's an Indian American comedian that apparently is known in that circuit, I guess, in creating a cool sneaker. It's funny. I was watching just flipping channels the other night and watching one of those shows about sneaker shopping with celebrities, and yeah, they were hanging out with some ex NBAers and things like this, and kind of going to like high end sneaker shops and dropping like $10,000 on 4 pairs of sneakers and these kinds of things. So it was kind of interesting, but like to talk about some of those celebrity collaborations of designing the Jordans or the Pippins or the whatevers that go on. And so I like that they're doing collaborations too with comedians and people of color and all sorts of things like that, which I think are really interesting, to see. So good on Cole Haan for doing that, and a cool story about kind of all the tech that they've packed into this new flagship store. And just one last thing I wanted to mention, so one of the companies we've been working with for a number of years here at the LBMA is a company called Radius 8. They're well known in sort of that local content optimization, sort of fit into that SEO, SEM space as well. And so they have just been acquired by Fiserv, and I don't have any details on the numbers or anything like that, but just congratulations to to Harlan and Sandeep and the rest of the team over there on that acquisition. I'm sure that's a big move for them to become part of something like Fiserv, and we just wish them well and continued success in what they've been doing. So
Yes, for sure. We look forward to hearing more.
yeah, absolutely. So that's it. That's our show for this week. You've been listening to episode number 507 of Location Weekly. We thank you for your time. As always, please reach out to us if you have story ideas, feedback for us. Give us some love on whichever channel you're consuming this on, or on social media. And we'll be back next week, of course, with another show. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.